Hello, hello. Welcome everybody. So, today I'm pretty excited for the stream because yesterday we had the first look at Angular signals, right? So Angular signals is not yet, again, this is not yet final. It's far from final, but the Angular team decided to already come up with some prototype and make it available for us in the next version of Angular, right? So let's see. So let me make that a bit smaller. So what we will do today is basically we will play around with something that would be cool if it lands in the future, also something that I have already discussed about doing. So let's go to code private and create a, so we will use the next version of Angular, right? And how do we call the project? Actually, it's fun with signals, right? That's what you want to do. We just want to play around with it. Let's add a routing, even though we probably don't need it. So we just want to play around with it. We want to check it out. We want to see what we can do, just to have some fun, right? So it's installing the packages, right? I'm already starting up my IDE. I am about to, I think that will be one of the next streams, right? I am about to think of going fully Vim. So on one of my streams, I will go fully Vim. Let's see how that goes. I'm curious how it goes. Yeah. So, again, bump the font size to 26 or 24. I think we went with 24 in the last streams. So yeah, we get a pretty standard Angular application, right? So what we want to do is, I actually want to have like a couple of things I want to play around with. One of them is I want to play around and see if we can have like somehow a signal as an output. I think that will come in the future, right? But I think we can already mimic it. What if we have an event emitter that just emits a signal? Like, does that work? Let's see. So let's create a custom button component.ts. Component.ts, right? Add component, right? Custom button. Hey, macaroni pizza pie, what's up? Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, I'm doing good. I have, like, here in Switzerland, it's almost 8 p.m. So yeah, I finished working, played some Hogwarts Legacy, now streaming. So I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I meant to check out the last stream, but I haven't gotten there yet. Okay, cool. So this stream is also available now on my YouTube channel, right? That's the stream from yesterday. That was pretty spontaneous. I think we will anyway cover like the basics today again. So yesterday was like the first stream. This is basically available now on the channel. Yesterday we just covered like the basics of signals, but I think today we will probably also do that, right? Let's see. So I'm also pretty new to this. Whoa, what happened here? So we will create a button, click, and we will make it a bit special. We'll make it super ugly so that we see that this is our component button, right? Or let's Copilot figure out how the button should look like. Okay, now it's enough, right? So we don't need this stuff. And of course this will be a standalone component, right? Standalone button. Yeah, this button is super ugly. Let's go with some blue, but maybe another shade of blue. Maybe something like this. So, and also let's, okay, we have a padding, but let's also give it like, somehow the code completion doesn't work that well, actually. Okay, now it works. So on the imports, we add our custom component, right? And then we go ahead and we start the stuff. Too many fun projects. So we open that up. Let me also bring that up in a new window, right? Maybe something like this. How did we call it, the custom button? We called it so it's starting, right? Yeah, and we have our beautiful button, right? Maybe we should also give it a cursor pointer. And then when we click, we basically, so what we would do is usually, you see how this doesn't work. So cursor pointer tap, right? So usually what we would do is we would have something like a add output click, like a new, we just call it, maybe not like the native one, just custom click. And then whenever we click on our button, so here basically, whenever we do click, we say, let's do it in a function. Right, something like this. Yo Kev, what's up? What's up with Nuki-han? How you doing? So we made a click, right? And then just thinking, yeah, what we would usually do is, of course, we would have like custom click, log stuff, whatever, and then inside here we would do like console log stuff, right? Yeah, so this is a normal way of handling the clicks. Now in the future, what I can imagine that what the Angular team wants to do is maybe, I don't know if this is coming, like no idea, I haven't heard anything, but maybe we will get here a signal. Doing okay, start a new portfolio piece, nice, and I've applied to CS Uni for September, cool. Wish you all the best and good luck with the application. So, usually we would do this log stuff, right? Now let's see if our custom component, if we can also expose. So there's currently no way of having this as a signal. But what if we would have like, let's just call it, usually, and that's a signal of what? Of what? Maybe it's a counter, so let's just start with 0. It's okay. And on handle click, what we would do is this, just custom click signal. And we will do like update, because with update we get the state, right? So for those who haven't seen the stream yesterday, like you get on a signal, you get multiple methods currently. So you get a setter, right? So on this custom click signal, you can basically, when you call it, you can then use .set, or is it just .set? I think it's just like this, yeah. So you can set a value, that's a new value of the signal. You can update, with update you kind of get the state, right? And I think we also have to, we have to return that. And with the other thing that you get is like a mutate function. And the difference is with the update, you kind of can use the state to compute something new, and with the mutate is usually used for arrays or objects to just add another value, right? So what I now want to try is basically, I want to go here inside my app component and say add viewChild. Again, this is just playing around, right? Yeah, custom button component. So nothing of this will be like this in the future. I'm just curious if this will work, right? So did we call it custom button? Just like this, custom button, right? Probably it's or undefined, but we will use, actually we can say it's static true, right? And then we can basically say ed stare. We can get rid of the log stuff. I want to have an implements on in it. So now we can have an effect. That's another property that we get. And inside here, what we will do, yeah, so we will, let's see if that works. So basically, the idea here is that we have a custom button, it exposes a signal, so we get a hold via viewChild to it, and then we basically try to log it with effect whenever this signal fires, right? And it works, you see, down here. So we could also now bind this to the template. So what if we say, what if we just do it like this? In the template, if we just say like custom button dot custom signal, right? Just like this. Look how that works. I don't know if you can see it, but I can bump it. Whoa, it's a super big button. But you see, when we click without any async pipe, anything, so that works. So yeah, if we could get this somehow as output, would be pretty nice, right? So that was one thing I wanted to try. Then the other thing is basically the RxJS interpolation. Basically, did I say that right? Interpolation. I think. Yeah, let's just call it interop. Is it interop or interpol? Because we yesterday already did it. Let me quickly see. Interpolation. Yeah, it's good. So basically the idea here is, so yesterday we already copied the code from Chow, right? Today I want to write it myself, just to see, to get a bit better understanding. So yesterday was more about getting like the basics. Today I want to write a function that basically takes an observable and converts it to a signal and vice versa, right? So we say export function from observable, and then one that basically is toObservable. So from observable, I will do it a bit different than Chow did it. I really like this approach, but I think I'm going with some really simple for our case. So you have an initial value, a source observable, and we also, let's go with that. So we do, no, Copilot, just be quiet. So we will have a observer, right? And this observer has next, and on next, so we will also have like a, I don't know how to call it, just a signal with an initial value, right? And if you don't, the initial value is required in our method. So we have a signal with an initial value, and next we will do signal dot set value whenever we get a value, right? It's not signal, of course, it's result. I also want to see what kind of type this actually returns. Settable signal, right? Okay. So we set the value on error, we get an error. We actually don't need those brackets here. All right, something like this. So that do we need it? TypeScript, do you really need it? Okay, then we just do it. Let's just use any. I don't want to get lost on the TypeScript here. So yeah. So source of subscribe with the observer, and we return the, I don't know, result is probably not the best name. I cannot think of a better name than result signal, which also doesn't make sense. So yeah, something like this, right? And maybe what would be cool if, of course, this will have like a memory leak down the road, or can turn into, because we never clean up. So I saw that Chow did something with the change detector ref. I kind of go a bit simpler, like, I don't know if it's enough, but I just go with this. And we just say like that we have a cleanup stream. I think that we could do it with defer. So if we have a cleanup stream, we want to do like, again, this code has probably room for improvement, right? But let's just go with this. Something like this, right? Good. And now let's add a component. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Chow. How you doing? Still haven't made it to full Vim, right? Tried it today during work, and yeah, it's cool, but I'm not yet there. So from observable component, right? So let's see how that goes. I also want to do them the other way around. So, what we actually want to do, let's say, how does that work if the observable is async? It should still work, right? So what if we have a signal? If we do values, let's just call it values, and we have a fromObservable, where we do like, I don't know, 10. We do delay. Is there? I think there is delay time, right? Nope. It's just delay. Okay, so we have delay there. So this would be our stream, right? Let's see if we would use that with standard Angular, right? So we would do... Oh my god. I think I have to disable Copilot for the moment. It's a bit annoying, to be honest. Import. Okay, good. Oh, sorry, I already had it there. Let's just oh, sorry. Isn't there like isn't there? Ah, yeah, I broke something, of course. Ashes to ashes, falling alone, leaving to its own demise. For Copilot and Vim, I have it set up where the suggestions show up in speech suggestion. Wow, cool. Which plugin did you use? I saw there is one. Because I haven't yet made the Copilot setup. It's probably this one, right? Yep, okay. Okay. Okay, cool. I have to check it out. I still have to finish my my setup, right? Because so far, yeah, I'm already looking okay, I would say. So I would be able to work here. So I already have like some key maps for toggling the sidebar, right? Then also some, what was it? Some search with telescope. So yeah, let's see. But I'm still not comfortable going fully with this. I think that needs some time. So it's not the from. I always get those. Is it off? No. Yeah, it's a commitment for sure, being so efficient with WebStorm. Yeah, it was already a commitment going to this keyboard, right? So the first commitment was going to Vim, then going to a split keyboard with the, how is it called, the columnar layout? One thing at a time, I would say so, but that's often that I try to go with multiple things at a time. So I thought, oh my god. Yeah, I get them separate. Isn't it? I thought that the delay will delay each one, right? I mean, we can also do it different. But it should be delay. What? There was not a delay time. It's delay 1000, right? Oh my god. Okay, I get them all instant. So I get them single, then I get the delay, right? And then I get them again, which is weird. Anyway, let's go then with something else. Let's just use like, I think there's also like timer 0, 1000, or just interval, actually interval. Something like this, right? And then what we want to do is take, I don't know, so now we get 0, 1, we get it ticking, right? And now basically what I want to see how, if this is also handled by my function. So that would be like the observable and now the signal is actually would be from all right. And to clean it up inside our component we can do not on init. And then we do some new subject. Why is Copilot always removing like, or is it ID? When a competition comes, he removes like the bracket, unfortunately. So let's use like maybe we should call it, huh? Makes sense. So that's basically working. So we converted like an observable to a signal, right? So that's pretty neat. Also after 10 it should, or after 9 it should finish, yeah. So that's pretty cool. So let's try to refactor that. All right, that would be the fromObservable. Now we want to do the other way around. So a function toObservable, and this one will take like a, I don't know if it's signal value is probably a it's not the best name, but signal, I cannot name it signal. I don't know. Maybe we still go with a signal and then we call it, what is the type? Settable signal, something like this. So, and what we want to do here is basically so this is a syntax that we use like not much. can create a new I don't like to call this subscriber, I like to call this server. So, and basically what we want, or actually maybe it's simpler to just do it as a subject. I mean, in the end it's also an observable, right? And then we run a effect. You have a .vs code folder. Oh yeah, I have. Does this get auto-generated when you do like when you create a new project? New. Do you have a VS Code folder? I think I can. So what is the guess? There is a VS Code folder, right? I don't know why it gets generated out of the box. Like, why? Do they just assume that everybody uses VS Code? Which I tried for 1 week and then I had enough of VS Code. I'm not a big fan of it. Alright, so we do actually this. And then we return our result. I think that's already enough. Hopefully. So let's go ahead and something like this. Yeah, so we have our toObservable component, right? And let's now try to have like a button. Click me. What you are building now? So I'm basically not building like a real project. I'm just playing around with Angular signals. So I don't know how familiar you are with signals, but Angular plans on giving us basically reactivity by having signals in the framework. And this is still a RFC and still a lot of discussions, ongoing discussions. But they already merged like a first version of Signal, basically like a prototype version. So this gives us access to basically Signal, to some basic methods, to some base implementation. And I'm now just trying to play around with stuff that I think could come in the future. I don't know if it's coming or not, but I think in the future we will probably see that Angular provides us with some fromObservable method that allows us to convert the signal into an observable, or vice versa. We will probably see some outputs. So I'm trying to implement those things on a very high level myself and just play around with it. Gotta go. Looking forward to catching the vote. Nice. Nice. Thanks for joining, Macaroni Pizza Pie. That name. I'm always getting hungry if I hear that name. Okay. toObservable component, right? So we have a signal. We just call it count, which is a signal, and we start with 0, right? And now Let's just call it probably increment, right? Alright, we do it like this. Batona goes away. Click me. So what would happen if we would do it like this? We would get a counter. We have to update. Actually, we can just pull down the comment and do like toObservable. So click me increments this number, right? But at this point, it's not, it's just a signal. So what we want is a observable. And we can say we have a, let's also do the same. So we would have observable, no. Let's do this in H3 and then we do the same. And we do a count stream variable, right? Let's see if that works. The count stream, of course, we have to use the async pipe. And we successfully converted a signal to an observable, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So this gives us a way of having like so we can use RxJS together with signals. So it's not either RxJS or signals. We can probably use them easily together and then break from RxJS to signals and vice versa, which is pretty cool. So that makes also migrations to signals pretty smooth, I think. And because there are cases where you really need RxJS, but I think there are also cases where RxJS is kind of an overkill. event, and inside here we would have some subject. In VS Code you can create a folder directly by selecting file creation. Yeah, it is possible for my ID too. So you mean if I do like works as well. I should do that. I'm just not used to it. I should do that, but it's a very good reminder that I should do it. So we would have like some display, which is a new subject, right? And then what you could do is I think here we get the event. I'm not sure if I have the best example, but I don't think up front of these examples. Maybe I should do that, because the streams are mainly just coming on and just random, right? So yeah. I ain't skip past losses, I had to get back off it. See the fit lab on it until they whip my coffin. Money clip, I tossed it, I heard it's big bags on big bags. Amazing pipe. Coming in, yeah, flex. I just wanna win. So yeah, so now, I mean, this is basically the same as ng model, but the advantage is what we could do here is we could say we have a display whatever, and we could basically run some transformations here, right? So we could have map, for example, to uppercase. Yeah, we could also do that. What's this issue? So we could also do that with another pipe, but you get the idea. I cannot just think of like a cool... we should also display the correct stream. I cannot think of a cool example of when you need this transformation, but the idea is when you have these streams... actually I can think of a good example, which we will see later. So imagine you would want to fire off backend requests once you have an input, and then you want to delay and you want to throttle and... yeah, so you don't want to fire on every keystroke, right? You want to have like some throttling in here, that you only fire the request once the user stops typing or after a certain amount of time. So then it's pretty cool to have that as a stream. So what now would be cool, because we don't get this as a stream. That was something that people were wishing for, observable inputs. But I think what we can see, I'm not sure, so I don't think we will get observable inputs, but what we could get, hopefully, would be signals. And let's try to mimic that. So let's try to do like a signal input directive. Yeah, signal input sounds about right. Should be standalone true. Okay, and this takes like host listener. Yeah. Isn't it like this? I thought it is like this. But Copilot. Yeah, okay, sorry. This makes sense. Good. So let's just console log you typed and then the event to targeted value. So we have that, and then inside our input example, what we do is we apply, actually I don't have to import it here, right? But here. So we applied it here, and we can see once we type, it gets locked. So we can now use this to have like a, let's just call it a value that is a signal. Right? We set some value, and this I kind of like to use. So this will probably be built in then, but so far we can just do it like this, so that we access our, inside our input example, we just get like the view child, and we get the signal input directive, which is guaranteed to be there, right? And then let's get rid of all of this. What we will do is we will say yeah, static true, perfect. Because we are using it pretty early, so we have to use static true, makes sense. Thanks, ciao. And this works. So that's basically, of course the API will be different, but that's basically a signal input. So now we have kind of signal, yeah, not really signal inputs. I don't know if there's a better way instead of having view child and accessing it like this. I don't know if there's a nicer way, but my idea would be that you somehow get basically input. Yeah, exactly. I imagine the same, that we get something like this, but for signals, exactly. That's my, and I think that's the closest I come to mimic that. Something like this. Yeah, now what I want to do is we have input, we have fromObservable, we have toObservable. I want to try something, a small component where we fetch some GitHub users, right? So let's do like GitHub users fetch. I don't like the name. Maybe GitHub users is enough. Maybe I should use schematics. I should really start using schematics. But the good thing is, I kinda learned to type a bit better on my keyboard, because I'm okay, but you see how many keystrokes I still don't miss. I was about to say, yeah. So yeah, the thing is, when I started with Angular, or I always wanted to type it out so that I really like train my brain on all the properties and everything, and I kind of stuck to that. But yeah, I could use ng generate component GitHub users, probably easier, right? GitHub users, and inside here we have a input, and this input then uses type text and uses our signal input directive. So now I tend to only use schematics for more involved stuff like, yeah, exactly. For lazy load modules I also use them because there's a lot of boilerplate to write. and I really like those schematics. But for such simple stuff, yeah, I could use it, but look, Chow, you trained the AI actually. Previously he was not aware that we should use static through, and now he kind of uses our other code and he's able to. So there is a API. Let me quickly check the API. Because I've made once a repository where I think somewhere I fetched some GitHub users. Because somewhere I've written down an endpoint for this. Let me check. Yeah, okay. So let's also do like a new file, GitHub users. Also, this, for example, is one feature why I cannot yet switch to fully Vim, because just right-click new file. That's something I'm really missing here, right? If I go to I don't know how I create a new file here. So I cannot come like new file. I don't know if I then have to open and make it basically nvim and the new file. Press A. Ooh. Okay. I should probably read the manual, right? So how did you find that out, Chow? Like you go nvim3.help or something. Ooh. Okay. Okay, I have to go through that. Okay, thanks a lot. That's cool. Yeah, I should really, before I try that out on stream, read these kind of things. Okay, then that's cool. So right, we get the HTTP client, and when we say get users, and we get the users based on some actually I didn't have to look up because Copilot already knows it, right? So why do I even look it up? So we have the GitHub user service. Probably we also have, since we are using the HTTP client here, probably also have to import the HTTP client module, right? Okay. So now what we want to do, we get this as a signal input, and we want to have so users would be like input.value, right? But now, since we don't want to fire all the requests, or what we want to do whenever the user types something, we want to actually perform a couple of things. So first of all, we want to fire a request, but we don't want to fire that request immediately. We want to fire it after some time, only if the thing changed. We probably want to show some spinner or something, right? And therefore, having a signal is probably not the best. So what we want to do is we want to convert this to observable. Why isn't it happy? Signal input directive, how did we call it? Value. I don't know why it thinks it's a string. Let's just go with any and just see if this even works. Yeah. Yeah. So probably I can revert that. Makes sense. Thanks, ciao. I don't know why he cannot import this in standalone component. This seems to be a bit broken. Okay, anyway. We already get that. But I think we are anyway displaying the wrong component. Yeah. I like that in front, it doesn't make a difference. But we have reading value. Does this make the difference? Yeah. This is annoying, yeah. Okay, but we basically converted this to an observable. And the advantage we now get is we get the pipe. Right in here, it makes perfect sense to have this as an observable, because now we get all the RxJS power. Because we can now say we have a debounce time of 500 milliseconds. We only want to do this if distinct until changed. For example, maybe we want to do a tab, like some side effect. Let's just add a flag loading. I mean, this can also be done different, but let's just go with the simple version. Loading true, right? Then we switch map to not fetch. Oh my god. Service, right? GitHub user service. Let's go with any. I want to fix the typings. So we get it like this, and then we say when it comes back, we should also have some error handling. But yeah, we should also do a spinner probably. Let me quickly do a spinner. Now Copilot. Come on. Okay. For such things, it's so amazing. I have no idea how this thing will look like. Are you done? No. Done? So I didn't check at all. I didn't check at all. Like, so we have the spinner component. We call it spinner. We go to our GitHub users component. Again, wrong key. So spinner component, right? And now let's just display the spinner. Wow, Copilot. That's a nice spinner, right? That's that's cool. I recently did some spinner somewhere. I have too many projects. Spinner sounds good. This looks better. Show it. Actually, we don't need this here. Where's our spinner component? Styles loading. Okay, there it is. Okay, the problem is that it's made for like dark background. So we probably have to change that one to black. Yeah, it's not the nicest. But anyway, I don't want to spend now too much time on styling, but I think we see some spinner, right? So that's the important stuff here. And we only show this if we are loading. And then down here, we will also, what we want to do is filter out where the value is longer than 2, so we don't want to fire the request now. Yeah, so this will come back as an observable. So if I take, yeah, we get object, of course, because we should use the JSON pipe, or we can even, no, let's first use the JSON pipe and then we will adjust it. So that's then basically all the avatars, so probably we will make like a small, let's do it like this. Let user of users DV. Yeah, avatar URL, and then we do like some, is it user.login? I don't know if it was login. Maybe we should only take like probably the first 10, because otherwise we get way too many results. So maybe we do like a map here where we say response. So those will probably be the users. And then we just say users dot slice 010. Whoa! Why are you removing my brackets? And now I have no idea if I took the right properties because I didn't check for myself. But you get the idea, right? What do we get here after switch map? I think it's an array, right? Ah, it's okay, it's dot items. Let's just call this response. Yeah. So, of course, we could add some styling and stuff, but you get the idea that we have. So the reason why I search for Kreuz, that's basically my GitHub user, is Kreuzerka. Yeah. So let's also search for Ciao. I don't know, aren't you named Narc? Probably. I don't know if this is Ciao, maybe. So yeah, but you get the idea. So we map, we could even go and we could even say, you missed a T there, I will try it again. We could even go and say fromObservable and convert this again back to a signal. Now the whole typing is freaking out. Yeah, because we have to have a default value, and then we could also pass in the destroy. That's basically my doing. But now we should be able to go here and get rid of the async pipe, and this should work. Should. Because fromObservable returns a signal Can we now do it instead of... we have to do it in the onInit. So now I cannot easily... I could do like... how would I do this? Yeah, probably I say... settable signal of any or undefined. Yeah. Now, I don't know how to solve this with types. I can probably just put like $any, but this is not. Probably I can also do like just like this, right? This should also work. This should work, I think. Let's see. Users. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. You were too quick. There he is. Okay, cool. So, yeah. I think this is basically how I think the future of Angular could look like. That we get these nice mappers from observable to observable, that we get signal inputs. So you get a signal input, which is pretty nice. Of course, you wouldn't need to do this .input.value. I think it would be a better syntax in terms of like this maybe, but not that you have to go with grab it with view child. I like the signal version, like our current code is observable. Yeah. Maybe in the future we have observable signals template. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I also like that you don't have to, you don't have to use the async pipe. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure, Chao, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I go and just disable the zone, this will not yet work, right? But this should be the future, that we could also have like ng-zone noob. So I think then stuff is broken. Yeah. But this should be the future, that we can have it like zoneless. So that would be pretty nice. Imagine you have some component with input, and the input is consumed like some input, some stream, async. Then you have to handle the null type from async. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Signals would solve that, yeah. So when they initially presented Signal, I was not so sure if I liked them or not. But now that I start to get like some hands-on experience, and it's not much hands-on experience that I have, but I start to like them. I really think they are so much easier. Also yesterday I did an example where I had like a service, 2 components, 1 form, and the form was just basically updating the signal, and the other list component, or component which displayed the list, was just consuming that signal. And I think the mental concept that you need to have, somehow it's pretty similar to behavior subjects, right? It's actually, at least for me, conceptual wise, it's almost the same. But behavior subject felt like so complicated when I started to learning it. Maybe I now have a huge advantage because I know behavior subject, but somehow the syntax with signals is so much easier for me. then behavior subject, but that's maybe just me. Yeah, I think that's pretty everything I wanted to do today. So we have like observable, we can convert observables to signals, we can convert signals to observables. We have implemented a directive that allows us to have signals inputs. For sure, the API is not the best, but this will be then improved by the Angular team if it comes to Angular. Yeah, and we implemented a GitHub users component where we can fetch, and there you can see how well you can integrate observables with signals. So you can convert it back and forth, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with what we've done. So let's see. Yeah, let's see where we want to go. Ciao, you are not streaming by the you're not streaming, I guess, today. But yeah, TJ for sure. We can go to TJ. He's doing a lot of cool Vim stuff. So yeah, let's go to TJ. Thanks everybody for joining. Hope to see you soon. Yeah. Wish you a nice evening.
Hey, thanks for the raid as well. Does the dog know Vim motions? All of them, yeah. Actually, I learned my Vim motions from her. Pretty cool.